And we're back, day 4 of the convention. And for the hot air faithful, this man needs no introduction. Congressman Alan
How
West,
you
thank
doing?
you very much
It's
for
a
joining
pleasure.
us.
Thanks for having me.
Right off the bat, I did want to say, in case you didn't already know it, you are one of the most popular figures at Hot Air. We ran a series of polls during the primary for who should be the running mate for Mitt Romney, and you consistently came out in the top 3 every time.
Well, that's very humbling and very honorable, but we got a great VP and candidate. You saw him give a fantastic speech last night, so I'll be fully supportive.
How do you think that's rolled out so far? Particularly, I know everybody here was charged up.
Yeah.
How about the media reaction that you're seeing and the reaction from the Democrats? Because I get the sense, talking to a few folks, once Paul Ryan showed up, there's been maybe a sense of panic coming out on the other
Well,
side.
there's panic, there's desperation because the topic and the conversation has moved away from bank capital and tax returns. We're ready to talk about issues. We're ready to talk about the contrast between governing philosophies and how we move this country in the right path, in the right direction to protect its future and legacy. That's not what the other side wants to talk about. They want to talk about the cheap shots, and that's not going to work.
Yeah, they want to talk about dogs on cars and tax returns and
Well,
things.
I
Yeah.
tell you what, Paul Ryan is an intellectual pit bull, so they better get ready.
Okay, speaking of topics, we do have one local one that I wanted to ask you about. You made some comments earlier about restoring the Space Coast. Everybody knows that watches TV right now. We've got the Curiosity rover up on Mars. Fantastic mission, really paying off benefits. Where do you see the next steps coming for NASA and what's going to help the Space Coast?
Well, it's not about where do I see the next steps coming. We need to at least have the opportunity and the ability to take that next step. You know, it's sad that we just, speaking of steps, we just lost Neil Armstrong. And what he talked about, the first man to walk on the moon, that step that he took. The fact that now the United States of America is going to be out thumbing rides in outer space, that's like caution. So that speaks to the exceptionalism and the uniqueness of our country and the lack of understanding thereof from President Obama. So when I talk about restoring the Space Coast, that's what I mean, restoring that sense of the next generation of thinkers, scientific thinkers, engineers, ingenuity, innovation that takes us, to infinity and beyond, if I can borrow that little phrase.
How about where do you see a balance between privatizing space exploration, getting the private sector involved, or should it still be mostly in NASA's hands?
I think that I believe it should be in NASA's hands. Now, when NASA sees an opportunity to use the private sector, that's fine. But there's a lot of new technology and development, such as from the military, that we are able to produce that helps the general society. So I think that that's a place where we do have a role as far as the government to promote that level of I guess new technological innovation. I guess that's the best way to put it. So I think that the people at NASA can look at where they can see, the private sector having a role. But it's great to have a public-private partnership as well.